What is going on, everybody? Today on Dylan Talks Tone, we are going to review the Texas Toast Challenger Special. And we're going to talk about, I made a thumbnail a week ago saying that I think this thing is going to be better than its Gibson counterpart. Now that I have it in person, my views have changed on that a little bit. Let's get into it. So, first things first, let's get a couple of things out of the way. First of all, I went ahead and wore an older man watch today and a curved bill on my hat and a more mature shirt, so you can, trust what I'm saying with this review. I don't appear too young because I don't have the right watch on or whatever. It's a joke. The other thing is, this guitar was not provided to me. This guitar actually belongs to a customer. This is the number one in a series of these guitars, and so I was not compensated for this video. They did not pay me. This is not a free guitar, none of that kind of stuff. I am a little bit involved with it, or I am involved with it. We'll get into that in a minute, but I want to do this review a little differently than normal because I am involved with the guitar. I want to talk about all the things that I am not involved in before we get to that. This company is called Texas Toast Guitars. They're actually based in Denver, Colorado. I know it sounds weird, but that's where they are. And they make this original shape called their Challenger. This is not the first one of these I've seen. They have really pretty tops and bound tops and humbuckers and all kinds of other different combinations. You can go to texastoastguitars.com and you can see some of the other guitars that they have available. But I was really interested in their special, junior, whatever you want to call it, version of this, because obviously I'm a P90 freak and because I'm a TV yellow freak. My kind of dream guitar of all time is a Les Paul Junior or Special from like 59. I really, really like that stuff. And so this guitar is kind of a homage to it, but it's not, because it's got some really interesting things. So here's why I think this guitar is so good. Because just like the Silver Sky, just like some other things I've been sharing lately, I think this is an evolution of guitar that is very, very cool. So we're going to go through it tip to tail before you hear the sounds, because that's where I get involved with the pickups. But we're going to go tip to tail, and I'm going to talk about some of the design things that are very, very cool about this guitar. So we're going to start up at the peg head. It's the original Texas Toast peg head shape, hip shot, open gear tuners. They are fantastic tuners. Notice something really interesting. He's got a 7-degree peg head angle. One of the things Matt talks about is having that peg head angle so you have a nice breakover angle at the nut. The attack is very good so that the string rings very solidly, but it's not so angled that you, first of all, there's no scarf joint as a result of that. Second of all, you can like lay the guitar down flat on a table and not have to worry about the peg head breaking off. It's also got a volute on the back of the neck, which is really sweet. It feels really nice when you hold it. That in itself is such a cool thing design-wise. Way better than Gibson or any of those things, in my opinion, because of the combination of features there that make that very cool. As we move down, I believe this is black poison wood fretboard. It looks very much like rosewood, but it's prettier in my opinion. It's got a little different grain pattern to it. It's bound. The neck is bound all the way down. One of the things I really like about the way Matt binds his necks is the frets come over the top of the binding, but he doesn't do that goofy Gibson thing where it has like the cap on it, like a nub on the end of it, so that this is 100% smooth. And the way he cuts his frets, I don't think, as long as you keep this relatively properly humidified, I don't know that these frets will ever have fret sprout because of the way he cuts them, which is really, really cool. I really like that. And then also the way the ends of the frets are polished. They're not quite full domes like a PRS or a Lucky Dog, but they're very, very close to that, and they feel really, really nice. Let's talk neck dimensions. 43.5 millimeters is what I measured at the nut. So it's a little wider. It feels really, really nice. About 88-ish, 88 thousandths of an inch at the first fret here, and about somewhere around 90 right about here. So it's got a nice feel to the neck. It's not huge, but it's also not too small either. I really, really like it. No dots. There are side dots here, which is really cool. The other thing I really like about this guitar as we work our way down is I love the neck pocket. This is a glue-on neck. This is a set neck. But I like the way the neck is made because it feels like, this is a weird thing to say, but it feels size-wise and how it fits in your hand back here like a bolt-on neck. It doesn't have a huge chonky heel on it that gets in your way. It feels like a bolt-on neck even though it's a set neck because it goes down. I don't know how he does. There's a lot. Watch his videos about how he builds guitars. He's very particular about it, and I really dig that. And then as we go down, we have a one-piece mahogany, Honduran mahogany body. Now, the thing I want to mention is there's only 3 pieces of wood in this guitar. The neck is all one piece, the body is all one piece, and the fretboard is one piece. So you got 3 pieces of wood in this guitar. Unlike something like my Gibson SG Junior over there with a 2-piece body with a fretboard and a scarf jointed neck, this thing is just so much more solid, and you can feel it when you play it. It really makes a difference. Hip shot bridge, volume tone, which is really a cool setup. It's a beautiful guitar. It's really, really cool. I know his goal weight for these things is right around 8 pounds. This one's a little heavier. I think it's about 8 pounds, 8.5, something like that. But it feels really nice and really balanced in your hand. It's a fantastic, fantastic feeling instrument. Now, one of the things I find very interesting about Texas Toast guitars, having watched their YouTube channel a lot and talking to Matt a lot, but not spending a lot of time with his guitars. I've had a couple in my hands before, but not to just sit and play like all day long. He doesn't use a CNC machine to do any of this. Now, they have a CNC machine in the shop that they use, like I mentioned, for like custom inlays and stuff, but he doesn't use it for the body, for the neck, for any of that. One of my pet peeves about small guitar builders has always been that when you first pick up the guitar, the neck just feels like somebody made it in their mom's basement. Like it's just homemade. It drives me nuts. And there's only a couple of like small guitar builders that I could ever kind of really get behind and say, man, I really like this neck. It feels like a quote unquote factory neck. It feels that good. It feels that uniform. There's no weirdness about it as you come down. I get annoyed by harsh milling lines, like right here, like when somebody uses a draw knife to or a drawing file to make their neck, and sometimes there's a little bit of a weird line here on the shoulder. None of that. This feels like a factory neck, as does the rest of the guitar. A lot of times handmade guitars, you'll see like little like router spins, or you'll see like little pieces, edges around the edges where you're like, I could tell that was carved, which is cool, but quality-wise, it looks like the guitar was made with a CNC, but it was made by hand. To me, that says something. Now let's talk about electronics. So there are CTS pots in there with a .033, I think, cap, and when he sent me the guitar, all these B-roll shots you're seeing were just some generic kind of made in Korea Artec pickups. And this is what they sound like. So we went ahead and pulled those pickups out, and we put in a set of RP90s. And this is what they sound like. So now I don't normally just take somebody's custom guitar and rip their pickups out. That, for a review, that would be a little disrespectful. However, I got a call last week, I guess, so right now it's February, it's the first Saturday of February 2022. This past Tuesday, this is how fast this all happened. This past Tuesday, Matt from Texas Toast calls me and he says, hey, I'm doing this series of guitars. We're going to start with 10. I'm going to send you number 1 and I'd like you to put pickups in it. And we want to use your pickups for the entire series. I'm just going to throw some crap pickups that I have laying around the shop in there just for a placeholder for pictures and stuff. And then when you get it, take it out, replace them. And he's like, and then, you know, if you want to do a video about it or whatever, you can do that. And then do me a favor and just send it on to the customer when it's done. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'll shoot a review about it. That'd be awesome. So, because I knew that they were making these and I was really excited to play one for myself. Therefore, here you are. Now we have a series of these guitars coming and they're all going to have my pickups in it. One thing I want to mention, and here's where my thoughts changed kind of on this whole thing. Here I was thinking this is going to be like the Gibson Les Paul Special killer, right? But there's one major difference, and that is string through body instead of a stop bar and a tailpiece. That changes everything. It's completely different. It changes everything. It plays totally different. So what I think he's done here is instead of copying something and just changing it a little bit, it's kind of taking the best aspects of a bunch of different brands. Not as, you know, aggressive of a peg head angle. That's kind of PRS-y actually. Of course, the TV yellow and the 2P90s, that's kind of Gibson-y with the 3-way switch here. But then of course the volume tone is different. The string through body is different. The way the guitar is actually constructed is different. So it's just kind of the best of, I think what he's done is taken his favorite parts of a bunch of different guitars and kind of smashed them into one. And man, I got to tell you what, it's awesome. I've been playing it all day. This is a really cool guitar. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, well, the only reason you like it is because your stuff is in it and because he's paying you to do it. May I remind you that I did not know that that was going to happen until just a few days ago. And I'd kind of already been looking at their stuff, obviously, because they have a cool YouTube channel. We've done some stuff. I've worked in their shop before, or gone to their shop and seen their shop. And they're great guys. They're really fun guys to hang out with. Well, I finally get to spend some real time with a guitar. And it's very, very good. It's very, very good. I think, actually, full stop. There's no for the money, there's none of that. I think it's just a great guitar. I do know that from now until the end of February 2022, they're having some kind of special on this. You save some money if you go to their website right now. I'll leave a link to it in the description and pre-order one of these things. I don't know how many they've sold versus what their original, so you just need to go look, because I'm gonna tell you, it's worth it. It is really, really worth it. This is a great guitar. I had no idea. I mean, I'd seen them, but I had no idea. Anyway, I just want to share that with you. I think it's a really cool guitar. Is it a Gibson killer? Yes and no. Quality-wise, it's better than just about any other guitar that I've pulled off the shelf here lately. I mean, it's pushing up there with my PRS for sure when it comes to build quality and stuff, because it's really, really good. But it still has that kind of two guys in a shop in Denver made it, which I love that. I just absolutely love that, without the imperfections and the worries that normal custom guitar shop builders that you have, of the inconsistencies of that. I just feel like in their finishes, in their, everything, I think it's just great. Make sure you check out our P90s too if you don't want to buy a whole new guitar. I'll leave a link to our P90s in the description below if you have any questions about it. I'm sure Matt and Chris will be checking the comments a little bit in case there's any questions about these guitars. Otherwise, make sure you get over to TexasToastGuitars.com. Pretty cool stuff. We'll see you soon.